Sponsored by you-know-who. It's interesting, knowing that when a majority of us die, and our children die, and our children's children die, the lives we've lived and all our accomplishments will be entirely forgotten to time. Compare that to Pikachu, who due to its international fame as the face of Pokemon, will live on eternally. I need Pikachu! And the yellow rat isn't alone. There are other Pokemon that rank highly in terms of fame and recognizability. Charizard, Gyarados, Garchomp, a lot of the legendaries, Onix, Flygon, Gengar, Alakazam, MagcarJoe, all Pokemon that are absolutely incredible and beloved by all. No bias here, in fact I am very straight. But it isn't all sunshine and rainbows in the Pokemon universe. You look me in the eye and tell me Seaking, Sunflora, Seadra, 90% of the new Pokemon are your favourite Pokemon. You can't. What about the rejected children of the Pokemon universe that through a series of bizarre events turn out to be rather memorable? Or should I say, memeable with this first one. The OG of haha look at that loser Pokemon, Magikarp. Logic should dictate a Pokemon who only serves the role of where the hell do I get an EXP share from would end up forgotten, except for the fact you need one in order to own a badass sea dragon. This Pokemon was born so unequivocally bad. I mean, some of the worst stats, as many moves as I have brain cells, and a face that says, why yes, I do believe the Earth is flat. How could you tell? Fortunately for Magikarp though, it was this awfulness that made it awfully attractive to the most wacky members of any metropolis. Memers. Yeah, Magikarp really said it's carping time, and through the power of memes and friendship, became more recognizable to the general public than the evolution Gyarados. I would even dare say Magikarp is more famous than the real-life Carp. In fact, let me take you on a magic carpet ride to the movie theatre for an analogy. You know when you watch a film that's just wrong in every single way, shape and form? The writing, the acting, the CGI, whatever. But you still somehow keep watching because it has become so bad, it's good. That's Magikarp in a nutshell. Speaking of nutshells, I think a certain someone also likes nutshells, and that is, of course, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid is a free-to-play RPG PvE/P fantasy adventure with over 80 million raiders across the globe. What do I love about Raid? Well, my favourite thing personally is the unheard of billions of different ways you can customise your character. Speaking of numbers, how about we streamline this with a top 3 reasons you should play Raid Shadow Legends. Number 1, it has some of the best bosses of any game, from big old fire lizard to the giant enemy spider. Number 2, it has a fully immersive campaign that will provide hours upon hours of entertainment you can't get with any other mobile game. And number 3, this computer, which I will use to track your IP and dox you if you don't download Raid Shadow Legends. And now is the perfect time to play. With the Call of the Orbiters in full swing, Raid is adding in some new champions from the Epic Limited series. For the grand old price of nothing, Artak the Orc can be yours. Just log into Raid for 7 days between now and July 24th, then thank me later. Use my link in the description or scan my QR code to claim everything you see here, from the Epic Champion Taller to an Epic Skill Tome. Epicness indeed, because this is my little gift to all of you. Once again, click the link down below or use my QR code to download Raid Shadow Legends for completely free. A massive thank you to the champions at Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Now then, Nuts and Pachirisu. This one is definitely the weirdest Pokemon here. It's not like the others, they're just so incredibly terrible they should be forgotten. Pachirisu is kind of built mid stats, mid cuteness, mid-anime Pokemon, mid-Pikachu clone, but Pachirisu's saving grace was that it was built just right for one particular match at one particular time at the Pokemon World Championship. the biggest Pokemon tournament of the year for any of you that don't know. Now, while I may seem like a dignified and intelligent snail, you all know that's completely incorrect and I'm actually suffering from severe brain damage. So I think I'll link Wolfie's video of him explaining exactly what the electric squirrel did in a more eloquent and smart manner for any of you that are curious. I, however, am going to explain it like this. 2 years after 2012, at the Big Boy tournament, not enough Pokemon are there to choose from for the big brain man. However, he sees that the elongated blue snake will do very well indeed. In order to protect his investment though, he adds a Dedenne into his team, as this is one of only 4 Pokemon in the format who has a Sigma male energy strong enough to force every other Pokemon to attack it. This in turn will protect Long Blue, who will defeat the opponents through the power of dance. And honestly, it's just that simple. A lack of options is a curse for some, and a blessing for others. They held a parade for Pachirisu after Sajin Park's win. A Pachirade, if you will. How many parades has Landorus got? A big fat 0. I rest my case. And even now, this piece of art right here is legendary in the competitive Pokemon community, and it all has its roots based because Pachirisu was just based enough to plant itself in the perfect spot to photosynthesize a win. Wait a minute. Roots? Plant? You know who I photosynthesize for? Maractus, baby! Yeah, cactus time, baby! Oh, I cannot wait to load into one of my conveniently picked Pokemon games and find a Oh no. Game Freak really looked at Maractus after Gen 5 and said, "I'm going out for milk, son." Why should we remember Maractus? In its debut generation, it was garbage. Arguably the worst grass type around. The design was only okay, nothing too special, and you could only find it at the Desert Resort, a location that meant it was surrounded by some of the coolest Pokemon Black and White had to offer. Again, no bias, I am in fact very gay. The reason though Maractus is so memorable and well known is because it's neither of those things. It's the Magikarp effect again, but even stupider this time. You literally barely ever see this thing, almost never. It is the most forgettable Pokemon. We have a Pokemon with the title of the most forgettable Pokemon, but then that Pokemon becomes incredibly memorable for the reason it was the most forgettable Pokemon. We remember it because it's forgettable, but we need to forget about it in order for it to be memorable. I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, Bidoof. Bidoof embodies an energy. I'm not exactly certain what that energy is, but I feel it whenever I gaze into those eyes. If Magikarp's face says the moon landings didn't happen, then Bidoof's face says, "I have committed several war crimes during the Bosnian War, and if found guilty, I will be executed." So the question remains, why should Bidoof have been forgotten? For starters, it's a really bad early game Pokemon. It's the epitome of, I'll catch you on the first playthrough and stuff you in a box after 30 minutes. Hell, Bidoof didn't even have like a good showing in the anime at all. My boy just really had nothing. My theory on why Bidoof became so well, dare I say, loved, is because 1, memes, 2, Gen 4 is goated and everything in it is put on a higher pedestal, even the dumb things. 3, the stupid design actually works for it rather than against it. You cannot deny that such a silly appearance isn't charming in a sort of way. And 4, because Bidoof is actually one of the most powerful Pokemon in the game. And no, that's not a joke this time. I am 100% serious. It seems the weather has just become Rather Moody. The Moody ability raises one random stat by 2 and lowers another one by 1 at the end of each turn, and from Generation 8 onwards, the evasion stat couldn't be affected. What would happen with a Moody Pokemon is they'd go into a fight, and if they were just a little bit lucky, their stats would snowball out of control. It was ridiculous, and it even went a tier up, becoming redonkulous, because even in Ubers, a Pokemon with Moody would rain hell upon the most powerful Pokemon in Generation 5. Entire teams of legendaries would be swept away like a twig in a flood, made of salty players' tears. Bidoof had Moody. Bidoof would run a pain train through Ubers. This goofy-ass poop-with-a-face looking Pokemon that is so incredibly beloved for being dumb is actually, legitimately, a war criminal in competitive Pokemon. And that is why we remember him. And speaking on the subject of remembrance, remember to like and subscribe to help this channel grow, and to be awesome, remember to thank all my lovely Patreon and channel members. Yes, every single one. Thank them individually, and become one maybe if you want. I mean, I'm not saying you can't. Remember, I have a second channel now that is going to be uploading exclusively Nuzlockes and other random challenge videos. Ignore the crocodile one, that's just a placeholder. And finally, remember to download Raid Shadow Legends to get access to all this epic free stuff. Just download the game with my link in the description, or by using my QR code. Once again, a massive thank you to the people over at Raid Shadow Legends. And a massive thank you for watching this video, lads and ladies. Hope you have a good day. Goodbye.